faithfully conveying value and interpreting great books worldwide. Hello, this is Sally's Book Talk. Today's book interpretation is The Meaning of Work. Subtitled Human Transformation from Prehistory to the Future. Few realize that throughout 95% of human history, daily work never exceeded 3 hours. Many indigenous tribes still maintain this workload today. Yet in civilized societies, technological progress has led to longer working hours for office workers. In 1930, economist Keynes predicted weekly work would shrink to 15 hours by the 21st century. Instead, people rush between commutes and overtime, losing ancient leisure. So, has human progress taken a wrong turn? That's the essence of the meaning of work. And this is the core question explored in the book. Author James Sussman, Cambridge anthropology professor, studied Bushmen tribes in Africa, finding their short workdays yielded relaxed living. This finding aligns with other anthropologists' research. Sussman wondered, how do primitive tribes work so little yet live so comfortably? The book uncovers truths behind this paradox, exploring work's origins and driving forces. Second, the mystery behind humanity's increasing toil. I'll break this down into 4 parts. This book progressively reveals work's realities. Part 2, why do humans work? Part 2, what happens with 3-hour workdays? Part 2, how did work become obligatory? Part 4, how does work become inescapable? First, let's explore why humans work. Scholars sought answers in animal behavior. Southern Africa's black-faced weavers build nests from thatch and reeds. Their gourd-shaped nests, ostrich egg-sized and sturdy, seem hard to dismantle, yet male weavers disagree. Each summer, males build multiple nests, only to dismantle them sequentially. They drag nests from trees, then meticulously pluck each blade until nothing remains. According to biologists' observations, a male bird built 160 nests and personally dismantled 158 of them, leaving only 2 to attract females. Most were dismantled immediately after completion, within days, setting a record in nest demolition. This peculiar behavior puzzles biologists greatly. For many small birds, nest building is tedious and laborious work. An ordinary weaver bird takes about a week on average to build one nest, flying over 30 kilometers and collecting more than 500 blades of grass. Quite a workload. After all that effort, are they just doing it to tear it down? Initially, some scholars believed that male weaver birds do this to practice nest building. Technical observations also show that, with repeated practice, their nests do improve in quality, but they keep dismantling them constantly, which remains perplexing. Other scholars speculate that building more nests might attract more females, but a single male doesn't simultaneously possess multiple nests. So, he doesn't have multiple mates at once. Moreover, some nests receive no female visitors at all and are still dismantled. This nest disarming behavior might have other meanings. What exactly is the reason behind this bizarre behavior? By shifting perspective, we find the answer. Previously, researchers overlooked an important concept. While gaining energy is crucial for organisms, consuming energy is equally vital. Energy must flow through the body to sustain life processes. And if life only intakes energy without consuming it, it can't drive metabolism or sufficiently activate bodily functions. From this perspective, the weaver bird's nest dismantling behavior is purely an energy-consuming activity.
Therefore, whenever food is abundant in summer, weaver birds don't need to spend much time foraging and become enthusiastic about dismantling nests.
And when winter arrives, with reduced food and energy shortages, they stop the dismantling activities. Thus, fundamentally, weaver birds dismantle nests to consume excess energy, which may be closely related to the origins of human work. In other words, work is essentially an energy exchange process. Humans consume excess energy primarily in 2 ways. One is increasing physical activity, like playing games, singing, dancing, or participating in marathons and running. The second way is thinking. The brain consumes a lot of energy during thought processes while gaining information.
There's a bidirectional proportional relationship between the brain's energy consumption and information processing. And finding
meaning the more information processed, the more energy consumed. The reverse is also true. More energy consumed means more information processed. When humans devoted increasing energy to thinking and processed sufficiently rich information, they created extraordinary cultures and developed complex language abilities far beyond other animals' comprehension. Extremely complex language carries unique value. For instance, humans spread abstract fire-making techniques through language. Evidence of fire use dates back over 1 million years. Fire became civilization's first pivotal milestone, altering human nature energy exchange, enabling warmth and cold, expanding diets, saving foraging time. Surplus time bred boredom, which has unexpected functions. To escape boredom, humans sought activities like tool-making, dispelling idleness while consuming energy. Boredom drove tool refinement and art development. All art stems from combating boredom. While fighting boredom, we accidentally created two opposing concepts, work and entertainment. Both counter boredom but fundamentally differ. Entertainment generates rich information flow without excessive energy drain, creating relaxation. Work expends substantial energy without adequate information return, causing monotony and fatigue. Thus, we prefer entertainment over work, the author's interpretation of work's origin. So, which activities qualify as work and which is entertainment? Actually, no clear boundary exists. The distinction relates to human desire levels. Lower desire means higher entertainment proportion. Higher desire means greater work component. The author examines desire-work relationships through primitive tribe analysis. In Part 2, we'll explore low-desire primitive life without work. What happens with 3-hour workdays? Anthropologists once believed early humans constantly scrambled for food, exhausted, overwhelmed, with no entertainment concept, hence no work concept either. But in coastal caves of southern Africa, anthropologists made significant discoveries. These caves contained whale remains, along with shells, bird bones, total skeletons, and other animal remains. Early Homo sapiens enjoyed abundant food. They also consumed vegetables, plant tubers, mushrooms, and fruits. Their diet shows early Homo sapiens were well-nourished and rarely troubled by food scarcity. Beyond food, researchers uncovered cultural artifacts like shell bead strands dating back about 75,000 years. Shells with drilled holes were strung into elegant necklaces, showing early self-adornment practices. Some caves featured rock paintings and 100,000-year-old paint kits, abalone shells containing powdered pigments. They painted on stones with these pigments. Evidence shows hunter-gatherer tribes lived vibrant lives, filling idle time with rich spiritual activities. Modern primitive tribes' lifestyles mirror early human existence. In Africa's Kalahari Desert, tribes like the Jew/Hoansi survive. This tribe is a branch of the African Bushmen. The author spent nearly 30 years observing this tribe's life. He found locals largely isolated, without agriculture, maintaining primal lifestyles. They trusted nature to provide, rarely storing food, accumulating wealth, or caring about status. They spent minimal time foraging. Adults foraged about 17 hours weekly, under 3 hours daily, devoting most time to rest and leisure, strolling, chatting, singing, dancing, and storytelling around evening fires. They enjoyed good nutrition and longevity, with many living past 60, dubbed an affluent primitive society. Their leisurely life stemmed from restrained material desires, focusing only on essentials, ignoring scarcity threats, unburdened by cravings. So, how do they maintain this low desire lifestyle? The answer is resource sharing. Primitive tribes believe nature gifts all things to humanity. People should share food, with all provisions distributed equally among tribe members, forming demand sharing. When they spot something desirable, they demand it directly. No hesitation or politeness required. Refusing such requests is seen as rude, inviting condemnation or even violence. In demand-sharing societies, giving is unlimited. Everything except spouses and children is shared freely. No theft occurs since asking suffices. If you want something, just go ask for it. In this system, people show no interest in hoarding food. Fortunately, tropical Africa's abundance means seasonal fruits prevent shortages. When produce ripens, people gather only daily needs, letting extras rot rather than storing them. Demand-sharing tribes lack hierarchies, leaders, or tolerance for material inequality. Here, hard work earns no extra reward. Excessive diligence is seen as pretentious and resisted. Understandably, resource scarcity rarely occurs with low desires and minimal demands on nature. Thus, work concepts don't exist. Overtime is pointless and meaningless. After eating, they embrace leisure, experiencing unhurried living. Around 12,000 years ago, everything shifted. Driven by climate change and population growth, humans independently developed agriculture. After fire mastery, agriculture became civilization's second pivotal milestone. Our ancestors began storing food and farming, fundamentally reshaping human-nature relations. Thus, we lost leisure and became bound to work. In Part 3, we'll explore why work became unavoidable. After humans migrated out of Africa, they faced drastic climate shifts, often leading to resource scarcity and food shortages. To survive harsh winters, Homo sapiens had to plan ahead, building shelters, gathering more crops, and storing food for emergencies. Once people started storing food, their view of it changed.
Because my things are mine. Today they're mine, and tomorrow they'll still be mine.
Similarly, your things are yours. They won't appear in my room. During food shortages, those with reserves survive, while those without face the threat of death. Under the shadow of death, the sharing economy vanished. Privatization emerged, and the demand-sharing system collapsed. To produce more food, farmers had to invest more time in labor, establishing a clear link between work and sustenance. More labor means more food. Work intensity directly correlates with food quantity. Those who work more get more. Those who don't get nothing. That's the inevitable outcome of privatization. In privatized societies, strategies to satisfy desires shifted, not by reducing wants, but by boosting production. Farmers were forced to continually increase labor intensity. Humans never regained the leisurely life of hunting and gathering. To store food, early farmers built large granaries using materials like mud, stone, and straw, constructed with careful design. Some granaries could store 10 tons of wheat, projects requiring massive collective labor to complete. As agriculture advanced further, architectural styles evolved, giving rise to grander structures. For instance, Göbekli Tepe in southeastern Turkey, structures with no practical value, only mysterious commemorative meaning. Building on such a scale demanded communities expend vast time, energy, and physical labor. Large, monumental structures signaled highly specialized divisions of labor. Professionals, freed from farming, relied on farmers for sustenance. To feed extra people, farmers worked harder, and the supported populace wasn't idle either. Apart from the ruling class, everyone engaged in various forms of labor, creating social stratification. When limited resources were shared among more people, farmers' lives became extremely difficult. Resource scarcity intensified. Backbreaking fieldwork caused injuries, while malnutrition, diseases, intermittent hunger, and tribal conflicts collectively shortened agricultural societies' lifespans. During the Roman Empire, reaching 30 was considered fortunate. Despite challenges, agricultural productivity surged compared to hunter-gatherers, causing explosive population growth that worsened resource scarcity. British political economist Malthus calculated global population doubling every 25 years, outpacing food production. Thus, farmers had to combat droughts, floods, and diseases to ensure harvests. But with uncontrollable variables, their only risk response was working harder. To boost efficiency, farmers needed more labor, primarily achieved through having more children. So farmers embraced high birth rates. Each child added a worker but also another mouth to feed. Malthus theorized population grows geometrically, while resources increase arithmetically. Excess population would be checked. Population couldn't exceed agricultural capacity, known as the Malthusian trap. Gradually, humanity fell into the Malthusian trap. The poorer they were, the more they bred. The more they bred, the poorer they became. perpetuating scarcity. As population passed critical thresholds, per capita grain production plummeted. Thus, agriculture's three elements, privatization, social stratification, and population explosion, caused two consequences: endless toil and currency's emergence. Under these burdens, farmers had no alternatives. They either starved, seized neighbors' land, or cultivated new land, all demanding more labor. Despite the baptism of agricultural civilization, we just can't chill anymore. Even though Malthus's ideas are outdated, he lowballed how fast food grows today. Farmers got stuck in this grind, and folks buy into the idea that work equals pay. So people cheer hard work and bash laziness, pretty much ditching the laid-back life. Another big thing farming left us, money. Farmers grew crops, so if they wanted other stuff, they had to swap grain. Non-farmers had to trade their goods for food. Bartering was a total hassle, so folks needed a middleman. Money came to be. Money buys everything, so everyone wants it, and it kicked off big business. Around 8000 BC, cities popped up. Third big leap in human progress. Farming made extra food to feed cities. Work wasn't just about getting energy from fields, it was about burning off that extra juice. Cities changed how we burn energy and set up exploitation. We're deep in work now, can't get out. Part 4, How Work Keeps You Going Nonstop. Cities packed people who didn't farm. Instead, new jobs popped up like carpenters, sculptors, builders, and plumbers. Plus, folks built temples and fed priests and tackled a new problem, keeping things in order. So, they needed officials, judges, cops, soldiers, all burning extra energy. City life sparked a big energy stream. Every part needed nonstop work to keep it flowing. Folks' wants shifted big time, from more crops and land to more cash. Because money's how work pays. It doesn't rain down, you gotta grind nonstop to get more. People's focus shifted from food to money. And since money is limitless, it sparked endless desires that drive constant work, especially amplified by the Industrial Revolution. Well, the Industrial Revolution created more jobs, massively fueling material desires and widening wealth gaps between people. To close that gap, working harder became the only option. Hard work does boost income, but the trouble is, people's consumption cravings rise right along with it. Human consumption comes in two flavors: enjoyment-based and show-off-based. Enjoyment-based meets basic needs, like eating fuller or dressing warmer, and makes up most spending. Enjoyment-based costs aren't steep. Simple work covers it, but adding show-off consumption piles on endless burdens. Show-off consumption started as a rich people's game, flaunting wealth with jewelry to show status. As productivity soared, regular folks started chasing show-off spending after covering basics. Advertising's the puppet master behind show-off consumption, even though our work already satisfied real needs. But merchants keep inventing new desires, using ads to amplify wants and push scarcity economics mainstream. Scarcity means resources for satisfying desires are limited compared to infinite human wants. Ads make everything feel scarce, like all consumer goods are in short supply. Ads aren't new. In ancient Pompeii, walls featured explicit erotic images to stoke desire. In China's Song Dynasty, craftsmen handed out fancy flyers with cute logos and trendy slogans to steer spending. Modern ads are everywhere now. With new media, TV, newspapers, internet, ads got more targeted, creating disposable consumption desires. Diamonds are textbook. Pre-1940, few cared. Then diamond rings exploded everywhere as status symbols and show-off trophies. Besides sustaining the production-consumption cycle, advertising has another peculiar effect. It makes people stop feeling anxious about inequality. Just by occasionally buying new consumer goods, they feel their social status rising, narrowing the perceived gap with others. To satisfy these new consumption demands, people must work longer hours. Since World War II, industrial nations' labor productivity has multiplied, yet average weekly work hours remain around 40. On one hand, bosses want to extract more profit from workers, resisting shorter hours. On the other, workers also resist reduced hours. Some even volunteer for overtime to earn more and feed consumption desires.
Driven by both sides, people work nonstop. But what severe consequences stem from endless desires and long hours?
Seduced by scarcity economics, we obsess over economic growth. This unsustainable focus creates crushing psychological pressure by eroding leisure time. Take Japan. Its labor ministry reported about 190 karoshi suicides in 2013. But researchers estimate the actual figure is 10 times higher, and the public has grown numb to it. Japan's not alone. Workers worldwide endure immense pressure, eating rushed lunches at desks, while overtime becomes routine. Karoshi is now widespread. France Telecom saw 35 employee suicides in 2008, 808 to 2009 due to work stress. Its CEO resigned, and executives face trial. So, is change possible?
The author believes automation and AI could create a future where humans return to simpler living, pondering life's meaning.
But others argue AI will only enrich the wealthy, widening inequality and creating new consumption traps. We'll just keep diving into new work. Then we just keep grinding away. AI might flip this whole thing, or it could make it way worse. So that's the meaning of work, the book's core idea. For ages, humans didn't carry heavy workloads. Back then, work was mostly about burning extra energy and trading stuff. But modern folks get trapped in manufactured work anxiety by scarcity economics. To lighten work stress, should we really go back to hunting and gathering? That's clearly not realistic, but we can steal hunter-gatherers' best trick, equality. So modern society must fix wealth gaps first, slash unnecessary wants, and quit over-focusing on scarcity. Because that focus isn't sustainable. It only cranks up the anxiety. We need to break free from rigid thinking and cravings, tap smarts and creativity to build a fresh, sustainable future and find work's real purpose. That's the book decoded for you. Notes below the audio. Till next time.